I don't know about you, but what I got out of that was kneel. I'm kidding. It was really, really good. Okay. Our last presenter of Block 2. I think from the flag you can figure out who's going next. Our last presenter is Neil DeRossi Goldberg. Oh, Noah. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck on the Neil. My bad. Noah DeRossi Goldberg. Sorry, Noah. Noah is the president of both the National Honor Society and the Debate Club. He also participates on both our chess and math teams. He is captain of the DHS Golf Club and is a class officer. Noah did a TED Talk last year about his Greek culture and loved the experience so much that he asked us if he could participate again. And obviously, we quickly said yes. His topic today is nationalism and the importance that it plays in our thought process and whether or not we should scrutinize what's going on in terms of how it is leading to division in our day and age. Please welcome Noah DeRossi Goldberg as he presents how we/me trumps you.
Hello, fellas. My name is Noah DeRossi Goldberg, and I am a Greek American. Wait, sorry, that was last year. Why don't I talk about something different for a change? Today, I would like to speak to you all about the concept of nationalism, specifically how we/me trumps you. And yes, that pun was very intentional, but more on that later. So what exactly is nationalism? Nationalism, as defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary and not Wikipedia, is loyalty and devotion to a nation by means of exalting one nation above all others and placing primary emphasis on its culture and interests. Basically, it's the we're number one mentality. For a moment, I would like to look back at nationalism through the ages and see how it developed into such a prevalent idea. While many believe it to be universal and innate, it really only developed in the late 18th century with the American and French revolutions. Over time, the concept of nationalism spread throughout Europe and into the rest of the world. Scholars and educated thinkers, such as Jean-Jacques Rousseau of France, helped to modernize the concept and diffuse it through the general population. Rousseau's philosophy of popular sovereignty, or the power of the majority, is one of the seeds from which the principle of nationalism has grown. From this point on, nationalism flourished. It became the fidget spinner trend that never ended. Imagine that for a second. If the fidget spinner never ended, only good things can come of that, right? Yeah, Nazis. To clarify, I am not saying that fidget spinners have anything to do with the Third Reich. I'm just saying the trends are quite similar. This, where the only people craze, radicalized many, and some, like Adolf Hitler, managed to weaponize it against others. It was German pride and nationalism that let Hitler rise to power, and it was German pride and nationalism that helped him keep it. Unfortunately, this was not the only world war that was started because of the I'm the best movement. On June 28, 1914, On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary was assassinated. The resulting nationalistic response by Austria-Hungary, Serbia, Germany, yet again, Britain, France, and so many other countries is what primarily caused the war to end all wars. Finally, what you have all been waiting for, the real case of nationalism that changed the world forever, I give you the Greek War for Independence. Eleftheria y Thanatos. I kid you, kind of. But you must have known I would have brought it in somehow, right? Well, maybe not the most well-known cases of nationalism, the Greek Revolution was one of the few rebellions in the beginning stages of nationalism that country pride turned into pure freedom. Now, the examples I have been giving are relevant, but I'm sure you're wondering, how does that affect us now in today's age? Before I get to America, let's talk about the rest of the world. One example would be the conservative nationalist party Fidesz in Hungary. On average, 44.78% of voters align with this party's agenda. That might not sound like a lot, but in politics, that's a major percentage. Another example would be the Law and Justice Party in Poland. This is another conservative nationalist organization that accounts for about 38% of votes. And while I only gave 2 examples, parties like these can be seen all across the globe. But nowhere is the idea of nationalism more prevalent than the United States of America. Before I get into this, I want to say 2 things. 1, I'm not trying to impose my beliefs on any of you. And 2, I am not discriminating against any of you for your opinions. Now that the PSA is out of the way, let's have some fun, shall we? So I'm not saying we haven't been nationalistic since day one, because of course we have. But I'm not sure if pride in our country has ever been more prevalent as now. Since 2016, the American culture has changed drastically. The election of Donald Trump brought hope and pride back into many Americans. His idea of America first intrigued many voters, hoping for the U.S. to draw back on its nationalistic and globalistic approach to diplomacy. And like clockwork, international nationalism led to conflict between countries. This can be seen in the tussle between these 2 lovebirds. Using social media as a weapon, the United States and North Korea have touted national supremacy and superiority. This type of verbal melee can be seen between many other world leaders and role models across the globe. The thing is, it's not only politics that nationalism affects. On a much more individual scale, a heightened exposure to nationalism could potentially lead to Me-ism. Me-ism, for those of you who do not know, is the theory that you are more important than the others around you. We have become so prideful in ourselves that we have developed selfish and narcissistic tendencies. Don't believe me? Then after this block is over, I urge you to check your phone and social media sites. If a selfie is nowhere to be found, please come to me and notify me of my inaccuracies. We care less about others and more about ourselves. This can even be seen in small children with participatory trophies. These trophies further a child's belief that they are more important, more special than the others around them. So when it comes down to it, is nationalism good or bad? The answer? Both. On one hand, nationalism can positively impact a nation's morale and allow for governments to work more efficiently with their citizens. It can also bring a sense of belonging to individuals, and it's that communal effort that allows a nation to prosper. On the other hand, nationalism can lead to war, cultural divisions, and these people. Yeah, there's no denying that instances of racism, anti-Semitism, sexism, and many other discriminatory beliefs have risen out of the broad span of nationalism's influence. Folks, before I leave, I want to ask one simple question. What now? I mentioned before that a little nationalism can be a good thing, but excessive nationalism can bring harsh consequences. The only issue is what's too much. Today you saw me with a Greek flag dancing a traditional Greek dance. Is that too much? The point is, there is no concrete line. As a philosophy, nationalism can be adopted and used in multiple different ways and to varying extents. It is up to you to decide, what's too much? Will you put no nation above another? Or will you cave to the enticing appeal of the fidget spinner and ride the pride train until there is no tomorrow? That is up to you. I just have one request. Let's leave the tiki torches in Survivor Island, okay? Thank you.